You know, it's easy to honor people when they're, you know, the parent of the year, the sister, brother, the son, daughter, all of that just kind of comes naturally, as does my inclination to welcome our board member, Mark Proctor, who just walked in. That's called an ad-lib. In any case, kindness within a family inevitably spills out in other places and results in good things happening everywhere. In fact, our mentoring programs depend on the wisdom of volunteers who are willing to pay it forward to help others. We have over 100 actually. And it's one reason why we know that family volunteers bring a lot to the table and why we're honoring them today. Sylvia Thomas Center focuses on easing the challenges that adoptive parents face. Executive Director Marianne Kershaw, who's here with us today, says that Lisa Jimenez is living proof that it takes one to know one.
Not saying anything.
Come on, Marianne, speak up.
She's shy.
Oh, yeah, also.
Oh, okay. It says Kodak unavailable. You know, I'm old enough to remember Kodak, but I didn't know Kodak. So, you know, Marianne, we're going to call you up here for a second, because the nice thing about having the person here is that we don't have to rely on no stinking video, right? And of course, Marianne's saying, I like the video, I don't have to say anything ad lib. Not so fast.
I like ad lib better than video.
Well, here we go. See, another thing I learned about her. All right, so tell me why Lisa Jimenez is living proof that when you're an adoptive parent, you reach out to ease the challenges that other adoptive parents confront.
Okay. So Lisa Jimenez is here with the entire J team. So Lisa is the treasurer for our board of directors. She and her husband Fred adopted these three wonderful, wonderful kids you see here. So Javon, Allie, and Jaylene. I didn't name them because I only had 1 minute in the video, so this is great. So even though there's lots going on, as you all know, and you have 3 kids running around the house, anytime we need volunteers, Lisa's Johnny on the spot. She's one of the first ones to be there. So in addition to helping out with things at the center, she also makes herself available to other adoptive families. So they, sometimes when they have family outings, they might have some extra kids with them for the afternoon to give other parents a break. Lisa's also very involved at the school where the kids attend. And there are so many things that she does. She helps tutor a lot of the kids and then goes out of her way to help those families a little bit extra. And I won't go into all that because it might embarrass poor Lisa. But the entire Jimenez family, they're an example of what we want for volunteers. Lisa and Fred take it very seriously that their kids are a part of their volunteering activities, so they know that that's something that our community needs and appreciates. So that is why I nominated Lisa Jimenez.
And you know, I'm glad you understand the delineation of responsibilities, because it's my job to embarrass them. You know.
You can have that.
And our next victim, our next guest is Lisa Jimenez, who's going to come up and say a few words herself. Thank you so much. Want me to hold you up? Well, hello, Lisa.
Hello.
We talked on the phone, had a good conversation, and you know, so I know you're good at talking. So tell us what moved you to not only be an adoptive parent, which is, you know, that's buku great in itself, but to feel that, gosh, I need to pay it forward because I know that other people can benefit from my experience.
Well, when I became a parent, which is what I wanted to do for almost 20 years, Fred and I had been married and we decided to adopt. And we were going to do one, and then we said, what's one more? And then he said, what's one more than that? And I was going to get 10, but he said, slow down. So we stopped at 3. They're like 10. But when we became parents, I just thought that's what you're supposed to do, get involved in their school. So I jumped in with both feet and found out there were other children that needed mentoring as well. And I asked about the program that we had at our school, which was PAL, and it's Partnering to Accelerate Learning. and they had no coordinator at the time. So I asked for an empty position, and I was in the position. So now I've been running the program now for 3 years.
Well, tell us a little bit about that, because I knew it by the acronym, but I don't know specifically what it is.
Well, we ask tutors to come in once or twice a week, just to do 30 minutes of reading with the children. And mostly we want the children to read to you, and it guides them so that they feel like they're getting support. And mostly it's reading, but sometimes there are some tutors that help with math as well. And it just helps because a lot of times those kids, like you had mentioned before, they're not getting it at home. So they look forward to that 30 minutes in school outside of the classroom, and it makes them feel really special just to have that 30 minutes. So sometimes when I'm having a lack of volunteers, Fred doesn't see me at home a lot because I'm at the school trying to fill all the positions for all those kids because I don't want to let them down.
Well, why don't you just draft him?
I drafted him last year, but he's not doing it again this year.
Once burned, twice shy. Yes, that's how it works. Another thing that demonstrates how it works is another certificate.
Oh my goodness.
This time with a little something on the back of it.
It goes to him.
Well, it goes to someone. But first, let's go over here and
Thank you. I appreciate it.
she's the one that deserves the thanks. I'm just blessed to be able to recognize her. And that's the key. The more nominations that we get, the more people that we can honor. Maybe